So as mentioned, my name is Paige. I'm a computer person at Google DeepMind, working to make AI development as great as it possibly can be. I can't see the screen that I'm presenting, so also just want to get a thumbs up that everybody can see the screen. Perhaps amazing. So I don't think it's a secret. Google has been a little bit busy. We've been releasing quite a few things, especially over the course of the last few months. Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is still our best flagship model, at least for the next little while. Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview, aka Nano Banana, which we'll see in a second. Hopefully folks have been playing with that a little bit. VO 3.1, which is our latest in kind of video generation. I believe we released that last week, though the timelines seem to be all kind of running together, just being very honest. Gemma 3N, which is the latest in our open model family. Genie 3, which is our world model system, and we'll take a look at that in a second. And then also our computer use API, which gives you the ability to have Gemini kind of navigate a Chromium browser or to sort of do tasks on your computer. And Gemini is kind of special in a couple of ways, right? Like it's designed to be natively multimodal, which means that it can understand video and images and audio and text and code and all of the above all at once. But it can also do multimodal outputs. So interestingly, it can output text, it can output code, but it can also output audio, including native audio, audio in multiple languages, which we'll take a look at in a second. It can output images. It can even edit images just through natural language. And this means that together you can kind of compose a lot of these model behaviors in really interesting ways that you aren't able to do with other kind of options. And this means, just as kind of a brief laundry list before we go into demos, that Gemini can be used for everything from video understanding. So you can pop in a YouTube video or just a video file and ask for a transcript or a description. Transcriptions, so from one language to another, or just kind of taking in an audio file or a video file and asking for transcripts. PDF understanding, it can do bounding boxes around specific objects, even 3D bounding boxes, and also things like real-time conversations. But as mentioned, I think it's a lot cooler to show stuff as opposed to like tell stuff. So I am going to go ahead and bounce on over to my other screen, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of take a peek at some of the things that you can do with our latest models. So let me go ahead and share a new window. Hopefully folks can see the new window as well. Amazing. So this is AI Studio, which is really the best place that you can go to get access to DeepMind's models as soon as they get released. You can select different models here off to the right. So you can see like Gemini 2.5 Pro, including different versions that you can select. So the live models, the video models, and things like Nano Banana. You can play with them, you can experiment with them, and you can also generate the code that you would need in order to replicate experiments with them. So I'm going to go ahead and for the first demo, I'm just going to show you how you might be able to use one of our live models. So let me go ahead and select it off to the side. And I'm also going to pop over and select this Genie 3 blog post. And we are going to kind of ask Gemini to help explain to us a couple of things that it might see on the screen. So this is the Gemini Live experience. You can kind of see a few features here in the center where you can talk, you can share a webcam, you can share a screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blog post, which is Genie 3, a new frontier for world models. It's kind of walking through the Genie 3 model system, which is, you can give it a text description and it generates a world that you can explore. You can see these arrow keys off to the left, which you're using to dynamically generate frame by frame the experience that you see as you navigate through this volcanic world, or kind of this watery scene at nighttime. You can also see that it responds to physics. So if you hit one of these lamps and toss it into the water and then circle back, it will also retain the new position of that light. And this is all kind of done through a compilation of models, not just the Gemini model series, but also other things that we have in store. You can also use it to do things like experience a hurricane in real time. And you can also see things like jellyfish navigating through water. But this is pretty cool. We're hoping to have a trusted tester program for it before the end of the year. But for the purposes of this experiment, I'm just going to pull up this table and we're going to ask Gemini some questions about it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm also going to ask if y'all can hear things along the way, so please let me know. But I'm also going to make sure that we have grounding with Google search turned on for this model. So let's go ahead and ask some questions. Hey, Gemini, could you please tell me what you see on the screen?
I don't think we can hear it, but at least we can read it.
So, can you hear, you didn't hear any of the audio associated for that?
No.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if I need to stop sharing and then make sure to share tabs with audio. But I really want y'all to be able to kind of see and hear everything that we see on the screen. So share. Is there a special setting that I need to do in Zoom in order to give you the ability to access the audio for a specific tab?
Not that I know.
Yeah. So, and I could also hear it on my end. So let's try again. And I'm just going to ask a question, and we'll see if it's able to respond. So, hey there, Gemini. Could you please tell me what the weather is like in New York City today? Still not able to hear.
No, but we can read. Yeah, so.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
This is very frustrating. In the sense that I would highly encourage all of y'all to go and experience this for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you hit share, there's an option on the share options on the right, which says share sound.
Share options on the right, where would that be?
So if you click the share button, on
Yeah.
the thing that shows up on the right, it says share options.
So I don't have a share options setting. I'm just accessing Zoom via my browser.
Oh, yeah, that might be the thing.
Gotcha. So unfortunately, that means that many of the demos that we were going to do for kind of audio interactions are not possible. I will try.
From my browser, if you like, you can just direct me if that's okay with you.
Or yeah, sure. So the and or hosts might need to change the setting in Zoom, it sounds like. But regardless, I'll go ahead and move over to a new window, and we can see if that might work as well. Let me go ahead and select the appropriate model, and we can see if this might change some things. So I'll share screen, Chrome tab. Hey, Gemini, what do you see on the screen? No. Yeah. So given that, I'm just going to go ahead and sort of do the next in our series of demos, which was just to build an application. And if the hosts can get the audio sharing sorted in the meantime while I do that, then yep.
So the thing is that we have it enabled at our end. It's basically an option at your end, which says you have to allow it at your end. But if you want, I can run the browser at my end, and you can just direct me. I have the AI Studio access.
Sure. So go ahead and present AI Studio.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Yep. And this will actually be a fun user experience test.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure.
Yeah.
Probably something in error too.
Yeah. So just share your screen.
Yep, just going there. So 1 second. I want to make sure that the sound option. All right. Do you see my screen?
Yes. So if you click on the right-hand side where it says Nano Banana.
This one?
Right-hand side where it says Nano Banana. Top box, right-hand side. Yep. Go up a little bit. Yep, there we go. And then click live and the banner at the top. And then that first option.
Yep.
You got it. And then continue. Awesome. And then you can scroll down on the right. Turn on grounding with Google search. And then click talk and say, what is the weather like in New York City today?
What is the weather like in New York City?
Wait, you have to wait till the blue comes on.
What is the weather like in New York City?
It is currently cloudy in New York City with a temperature of 55 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a slight chance of rain later tonight.
So now mute it. Mute the blue button.
I cannot see or hear anything in the video. Could you tell me what's happening?
Yep. And so now ask it to repeat what you just said. But so click no. So turn back on the microphone. So scroll down. Yep. And then say repeat what you just. So click it and then say repeat what you just said. Just say it in Chinese.
Repeat what you just said, but in Chinese.
纽约现在是阴天，气温。
Yep.
好的，您想用哪种语言重复段？
Because it's hearing the feedback from the Zoom. So mute the microphone again. Mute the blue button.
Yep.
The blue button.
Yep. I am not able to control the audio settings on your device. Yeah. I can, however, repeat what I said.
And then click get code in the upper right. So upper right where it says get code, please click. Upper right, very top. Yep.
Oh.
Yep. And then so everything that you see in that code snippet right there is what you would need to do to replicate what you just did in your UI. So you can share your screen, you can have the video feeds coming in, you can speak in multiple languages, you can ask for multiple languages to be represented, and all of this is done with the same model and the same API call. And thank you for being the guinea pig to get this to work. It works. So it works with a variety of languages. So you can ask for everything from German to French to Arabic, and it should be able to respond. And then if you click the Python dropdown where it says Python, yeah, and you can also select TypeScript if you would like and use it as part of your TypeScript projects. So it's pretty cool to see this in action. And also now you know how to use the Gemini Live API feature to interact not just with live audio, but to also you can, as I mentioned, share your screen, ask for it to comment about things that it sees on the screen, and it says that all with just whatever language you would prefer for it to see. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. This time there will be no audio, so we should be safe for that. It's like, but this is like that's actually kind of cool to get like live user experience testing in the course of a presentation. I love it. So this again is Google AI Studio. We talked through the live API. I'm also going to show you our build feature, which we just recently improved for live coding. And one of the previous questions that folks were asking is, how do I get started? You know, like I'm not a, you know, perhaps you're not a software engineer, perhaps you've never kind of used some of these tools. How might you go about beginning to build these AI-enabled applications and to get them released very quickly? So build is one of these options, and you can access it, again, just by clicking the build feature in aistudio.google.com. I'm going to go ahead and describe my idea. So you know, we've been talking about Nano Banana quite a bit, but I'm going to say something to the effect of create an app that uses the webcam to take a picture of the user. The app should then ask the user what they would like to dress up as for Halloween. The app should then use Nano Banana to show the user in a DIY Halloween costume and tell them step by step how they might create it. Be very creative and click enter. And so immediately what you see is kind of this user interface design. If you expand out this thinking section, you can see kind of the end-to-end thought process of Gemini 2.5 Pro as it designs this application and architects it out. So it's building a React application. It has a very opinionated stack, but it's able to figure out what models it needs to use. So I said Nano Banana, but it knows that Nano Banana is actually Gemini 2.5 Flash image. It knows how to access the webcam, and then it actually starts writing code for you. And so you can see the code getting generated. It gets put into this really nice directory structure that you have here in the center. You can see all of the different prompts kind of created behind the scenes as well for you. So you don't have to figure out how to do all of the prompting for all of these models in order to get things to actually work. And then as this continues along, you can also kind of add things like files. So if you wanted to upload an image of a website design that you really like and ask for Gemini to replicate it, if you wanted to add text files for kind of specific rules for your companies or ways to interact with different APIs or different systems, you could. And if Gemini encounters any errors along the way, it will also kind of help you fix them. But let's see how well it, haunt couture, that's very cute. So let's begin and try this out. So I'm gonna do the thing. What do I want to be for Halloween? I would like to be a friendly lion. How about that? And then create my costume, please. So it's brewing my costume. Again, if Gemini kind of encounters any errors along the way, ideally it will fix them. So let's do this autofix. It seems like there was an error calling the API. It wasn't able to generate a complete costume. So let's try to figure out what might go wrong. I also really appreciate that if you expand out, you can see the different troubleshooting paths that it takes. So it's figured out like, oh, okay, this Gemini service call doesn't seem to be working. It doesn't seem to be kind of finding the right response modalities. And then ideally, it will be able to pinpoint what parts of the code it would need to change in order to modify those results. You can also deploy to GitHub. So here in the upper right, you can save to a public or a private repo on GitHub and kind of incorporate that back into your project as well. So let's see, let's keep on going. We also just added a feature while this is still cooking where you can annotate the app. So if you end up with a feature in the app that you're not super happy with, you can click this annotate button and then add annotations. So like circle things, say, you know, this is working, this isn't, add a button here, and it should be able to help you along that path as well. So it looks like it was able to pinpoint the error in the file. It's modifying the Gemini service.typescript. So let's get out of this annotation mode and look at the code that it's changed, the preview, and let's try again. So I'm going to take a picture. We're going to say lion. Let's cross our fingers and hope that this actually works. So hard at work stitching pixels and weaving code. Also, this is my personal Google Cloud account, so I'm hoping that I still have credits in order to do the actual generations. Times are hard out. Oh gosh, times are hard out here for all of us that are trying to do the best. But this does look like a pretty friendly lion. You can also see some of the features in the background for the room that I'm in. But I think this is very cute. So you will need a tan sweatsuit, hot glue, etc. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see kind of the full design. The great yarn lion. Practice your Midas roar. You're the king or queen of the jungle. This is adorable. So clearly, we all want to be able to design our own DIY costumes. So I'm going to select a project on Google Cloud to deploy. I'm going to click Deploy App. And then what's going to happen behind the scenes is everything gets provisioned for me. So logging, the API keys get hidden as environment variables, their storage set up, my app gets deployed via Cloud Run, and now we have a unique URL that everybody on this call can access. Please do not run up my credits. I just added it in the hosts and panelists chat, so hopefully folks can share with everybody else and kind of test out what this looks like. But I'm going to show you just that this works. And hopefully, as all of the logs kind of get cracking, we can see this in action. If I click this console piece, we can also see the logs for the app deployment, all of the different people as they're testing them out, the URL that this is associated at. If I wanted to connect it to a repo, so all of my colleagues could also develop. And then you can also see the different pings for the requests counts coming in. So it's pretty cool to have all of this centralized in one place. It's also nice in the sense that billing is centralized in one place. So if I wanted to go to, again, personal Paige account, but you can see the different API calls and all of the services that I currently have running, as well as how much they cost each month. So it's pretty cool to be able to have this fast path to deployment on Google Cloud. I know that we have time constraints, and I want to be mindful of that. So unfortunately, I don't get to kind of show you all of the things, but that's okay next time. But hopefully you've been excited to see Gemini Live. You know how to test it out yourself at ai.dev or aistudio.google.com. You've seen how easy it is to deploy an app that's AI enabled using AI Studio Build. And if you have questions, feel free to ask me. I'm going to pull up the thank you slides, so you'll have my email as well if you want to send questions.
So,
Thank you.
Paige, yeah, Julie, I know you. I'm going to just ping you in a second. Paige, tell me one thing. How we've seen Lovable, we've seen Bolt, we have seen Replit, we have seen V0, we have seen we're seeing this now. How is Google figuring out, or how do we want to think about stickiness?
Yeah. So one of the things that I quite like about this approach of deployment via AI Studio Build is that it kind of keeps you from hurting yourself in terms of all of the kind of mistakes that early career developers might make. So it hides any API keys, so you're not exposing them into the world, including if you save to a GitHub repository. It sets you up on Cloud Run, which means that if suddenly your app goes viral, you can scale at Google scale. And all of that centralized in one place. You can set thresholds. So if it does scale and you don't necessarily want to pay for all of the API kings, you can. You can kind of connect to a production grade repo. So if you want to develop an AI studio and your partner teams want to develop using their own IDEs, that's 100% okay. And since this is natively integrated within AI Studio build, it knows what models to call, what are the latest features, what are the latest tools. And we're adding more and more kind of production grade cloud features every single day. So without you having to kind of figure out the cloud console or figure out Kubernetes or figure out like how to, do development best practices, this kind of helps you on that journey, if that makes sense.
Awesome. At some point I wanna have you come back again and talk about A2A.
Oh, yes.
I've been a big proponent of A2A, and as a startup company, we have been using A2A for implementation across many of our customers also. And this is no way a selling point. I'm actually telling you that it's a great product. And once we have done vibe coding in the front end, we connect everything to A2A. And it scales up much faster as you can launch it on Cloud Run and BigQuery and everything associated with it.
Yep. Awesome. Cool.
All right.
And so I know we're a little bit at time, and I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I also appreciate you for helping us navigate through them. And this is also like the best possible, like no magic involved, just the app itself. Like everybody should have confidence now that they can go and do all of these things all on their lonesome.
Awesome.
So
Over to you.
yep, excellent. Thank you.